Top of the morning to you, and especially those Patriots. Did you peep how busy they were yesterday? By the way, a week before the trade deadline, look at this laundry list of moves they made. Somebody look at this. We're going to break it all down coming up next.
Yeah, fine. That was seller's day for the Patriots. Buyer's day is coming. Like Trav said, trade deadline's on the way. The Bruins, do you remember that loss in Ottawa? I don't either. How about going down 2-0 and then rallying for 5 unanswered against the Islanders? That's right. Bruins win.
No, I was just looking forward to the day because I knew these guys going to respond. I knew it. I think we were all disappointed last night. Not just me, my players too, and I could tell already before the game. We had a bunch of meetings, and I could tell these guys were ready to go.
Hey guys, I don't know about you, but I got FOMO watching the World Series regarding the Red Sox. We'll talk with Lou Merloni today about the additions the Red Sox could make. You're watching. Boston has entered the chat now.
Boston! Welcome in! This is the Salem 5 Studios. Boston has entered the chat. Ness and Nation, we got you for the next hour. It's the Bro Show.
Yeah!
Joe Murray, Travis Thomas, Adam Kaufman, we got you so much on the way. The Bruins coming off an impressive bounce-back win against the Islanders, 5-2 at the Garden, 5 unanswered goals, as you heard there in the open. Lou Merloni with an impassioned performance with us today, looking ahead to the World Series, best of 3 as we sit now between the Dodgers and Blue Jays, but more importantly, what are the Red Sox going to do this offseason? The Celtics, to tank or not to tank? That is the question. And Jayson Tatum, when you going to be back, guy? But we got to begin with the New England Patriots. And let's show you the recap again of what was a very busy Tuesday. All the details courtesy of ESPN's Adam Schefter. There they are. So the Pats, first off, extend all-pro punt returner, slot corner, and captain Marcus Jones, 3-year, $36 million deal. He's right now on the final year of his rookie contract. And then a couple of trades, not acquisitions, trades away, dump-offs, if you will, with the deadline only 6 days away, I think, as we sit here now, Tuesday next week. Defensive end, Keion White goes to the Niners with a 7th-round pick in exchange for a 6th-round pick. Kyle Duggar, same story, but to the Steelers. The safety is on the move. 2 guys that obviously have been starters with this team in the past under different regimes, Joe. It was Bill Belichick. It was Gerard Mayo. How quickly we forget. And now, obviously, with Mike Vrabel, it's not so much these guys are in the doghouse as they're just not the preferred players, whether for scheme, responsibility, fit, call it what you want, but they're on the move. Do you like the deals, though, considering you are giving up some depth and you're not getting a whole lot in return?
I don't love the deals because they didn't really get much in return, but they were never part of the scheme. Kyle Duggar was a backup in the preseason, and Keion White just didn't fit the scheme whatsoever. So do I like the deals? No. Are they a better team today because they moved on from the guys? Probably not. But in the end, they did get Marcus Jones. He's an all-pro. He can do it all. He's got 9 pass breakups this year, 2 interceptions. He's a sack guy.
Special teams.
That's right. And again, all-pro in that area. And since Christian Gonzalez has come back, he's played more of a role. But what does the contract mean for the future of Christian Gonzalez?
Do tell. What do you mean by that?
Well, he gets the contract, right? He's also the captain.
I don't think now Christian.
Listen, $36 million over 3 years. Corners get $30 million a year. Gonzalez should be getting $30.
But that's exactly the point. They're two different. I mean, I know they're both like corners, but they're 2 totally different positions.
When it comes down to
Gonzalez
it, sir,
is getting paid.
With the Patriots, you got to think about the money. Do they make this move?
Which they have plenty of.
They have it, but maybe not next year. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Milton Williams is big at his position, right? You think about these guys. They're paying top dollar for a top corner now, right? They're paying top dollar for a defensive tackle. So the more you look at it, like, are they going to allocate it? They should.
Right, but Jones didn't get top dollar. He got top dollar for his
He got top dollar for his position. That's my point.
Right, but he got top dollar as a third corner.
Are the Patriots going to pay top dollar for Christian Gonzalez?
I just don't think Jones has anything to do with that. Either they are or they aren't, but I don't think Jones's money is relevant.
That's why I'm sniffing around on this one.
Look, I like the move for Jones. I think we all do, because one thing the Patriots have lacked in recent years is playmaking on either side of the ball. This guy gives it to you defensively and on special teams. Check. And look.
He's a regular Travis Hunter.
And I know we're pocket watching here. I mean, he's done more than Travis at this point.
Oh, yes,
but you know, we're pocket watching here. But to be fair, this was a fair contract for Jones and a great contract for the Patriots, who have a gazillion dollars to spend, okay? So let's table that. Duggar and White, I liked them both. I didn't love either. Both showed flashes at times, but could never fit. Everyone talks about schematics with Vrabel, and well, these guys didn't fit his scheme. I'm sorry. I watched them last year. Whatever scheme Gerard Mayo and them were running, and they weren't that great either. I'm not saying they're bad players. I'm saying they're expendable. Thanks for your service. Good riddance. Okay? Now, you gain some draft capital to move some things around for now, this trade deadline. That's what I'm about. Go get a big fish. Go get me Trey Hendrickson. All the reports say that they're looking for a pass rusher. That's the guy to get. He's unhappy. The Bengals can't pay him. They've been a mess. There's been drama. That's a toxic relationship. The Bengals are a stupid franchise. Go get that guy.
Still in the mix for a playoff spot, though.
Well, then maybe they don't.
You have to consider these things, like which team is going to be a seller.
Maybe they don't move off of them.
If we're going to talk about the Saints, you know, because people keep bringing them up, like, could Chris Olave, could Rashid Shaheed, could Alvin Kamara, could any of these guys move? Well, the Saints aren't going anywhere.
You may be right.
They're a losing team. The Bengals are still, in theory, unless I'm wrong, thinking that Joe Burrow could be back at some point.
Okay.
So they are in the mix.
Then stay with me. Take Trey. If you're right, and the Bengals, you pick up the. Hey, what's up with Trey? We're not trading him. See ya. Next pass rusher. Hello, it's a Pats. Can we interest you in? Get a pass rusher. When you look at this AFC that now Drake May has entered the chat, okay? Guess what? We've seen Patrick Mahomes bleed now. How? Pass rush. You got to get home. We've seen Josh Allen lose playoff games. We've seen Lamar throw up all over himself in playoff games. You know the theme to all these guys losing these big games when all the chips are on the table? Someone making them uncomfortable. Yeah. This is Mike Vrabel we're talking about, and a good defense already. Go get one of them dogs that can help you get over that mountaintop right now. They're playing for right now. Yeah. Drake May's on a rookie contract. Gonzalez, you'll figure out, he's still cheap for now. This is the time. Spend the money, make the splash moves. Go get someone that can help you beat these other guys, these gatekeepers in your conference, and maybe you could steal a Super Bowl right now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think it is about Drake May. Now, supporting him doesn't have to be an offensive player, no, right. But I do think when you make moves, you have to make some additions. But one thing's clear, though. Mike Vrabel, I call him Michael Corleone. He's the godfather right now. He's in charge.
Yes, sir.
So Elliott Wolf might get the credit, right? In the end.
Credit?
By the way, the two second-round picks.
The credit?
Who? Those guys that just got traded? Whose guys were those, by the way? I know we're going to say Belichick, but Elliott Wolf was there, right?
He was in the process. Yeah,
okay, so he was there. So I just want to make sure that we're clear. Mike Vrabel's making these moves.
That's fine. The only thing I'll say about Wolf with respect to Belichick is, like, who believes that Wolf was making picks over Belichick? I don't know what happened during the Gerard Mayo year.
May, though,
but,
you know.
Well, that happened after Belichick. You know, when Belichick was here, Belichick was making the picks. It wasn't Elliott Wolf. I mean, maybe there was more of a collaboration back when with the Texans, Nick Caserio.
Yeah.
When Nick Caserio was here, you know, I think maybe there was more, I don't know, conversation in the room.
I think Matt Groh and his fast guys. You know,
I think as the years went on, it was Bill's way or the highway. I mean, look no further than some of the moves that were made late in the tenure with the coaching staff. But going back to what Travis was talking about, and I agree with what you said. Support is support for the team. You know, if you're supporting the defense, you're still in a way obviously supporting Drake May because you're keeping the other team off the field and you're giving May more opportunity. While I believe the Patriots ultimately are going to make multiple moves. Now, that doesn't mean multiple that doesn't mean like Alvin Kamara and Trey Hendrickson or you know, A.J. Brown, like all these fantasy type of guys. It could just be a third running back because you lost Antonio Gibson.
Right.
I think there are going to be moves, and there have been reports indicating as much as they were sellers, the Patriots are expected to be buyers. But when that rolls around come next Tuesday, do you agree with Travis? Is your priority defense over offense, or are you looking at specific positions in general?
Yeah, the defense needs to improve. They've given up points in 6 of 8 games, and 4 of the 8 they've been touchdowns. But
6 of 8 on the first drive.
Yeah, it's on the first drive, opening game. So the way I look at it is pass rush would really help out. But in second halves, man, they've been dominant. And if they can get that pass rush late in those games, they'll even be more dominant in the second half.
I want to go back to something you said. If we're sitting here at the end of the about this, if we're sitting here at the end of the deadline and they got Jerome Ford, some defensive lineman we don't know much about, but he's got potential to rush the passer, but not a big name, I don't think it's enough. I think it's a failure. I'm looking at you two sit here talk about Elliott Wolf. It feels glowingly. I don't know if I'm misreading the room, but it feels glowingly. Meanwhile, I'm over here saying, how does this guy have a job? When you look at all these draft picks, you can blame Bill. I don't give a damn who you blame. But when you look at all these draft picks that this team has taken in recent years who are no longer on the team, they ain't even with the program.
How
does Elliott Wolf have a job?
I want to go back to what you were just saying because
How does he have a job?
I'm going to go cross sports and I'm going to go in the Wayback Machine here for a second. Just follow me on this.
I'm with you.
Oh, boy.
When the Red
What
Sox
could go wrong?
When the Red Sox back in 2004 traded Nomar and got in part, Doug Mankiewicz, but it was impactful, right?
Cabrera.
Orlando Cabrera and these guys that, for whatever reason, whether it was getting Nomar out of the clubhouse or it was bringing these guys in and improving your defense, whatever it was, it worked. It happened.
Like Rafael Devers did this year, maybe?
All the stars aligned, okay?
Sure. Yeah.
So I say all of that just to say I know what I don't know, which is if the Patriots go out and acquire some dude that I'm not all that familiar with because he's not a household name, that doesn't mean they're not doing enough.
Sure.
Could work.
That's fair.
I'll believe in Mike Vrabel at this point.
Yeah.
In Vrabel we trust.
I was just going to say, he is the godfather. But just one more time. This year, they brought in coaches that were tied to Vrabel. They brought in a lot of players that were also tied to Vrabel.
Sure.
So I would probably look at other guys that have maybe played for a Vrabel, a McDaniels, a Todd Downing, someone to that degree. Maybe one of those guys would come in and help in the mix.
Okay, now I've figured it out. We've done this enough now. I'm picking up what you guys are putting down. You're both saying if there's no splash moves at the deadline, it's really buying into the big picture vision of where they're building, where they're headed. And I get that. I don't have a problem with that. Here's where I'll push back slightly. You will never be in this position where Drake May's not paid, Gonzalez isn't paid. All these guys are going to get paid. That's coming.
Eventually, May's going to make $60 million a year.
Oh, you're right. I'm with you on this one.
So if we're talking big picture, I'm okay with that. But you'll never be here again.
Yep.
Sure.
So my thing is, make a splash, baby. Go get the killers.
I'm
Go
not
get
saying
the
I don't
guys.
want the splash. I'm not giving them an out before they've done anything.
You have the most cap space in the league.
Yeah.
You have all this potential right now, and you're winning right now, momentum. Add to it. Go try to win a Super Bowl. Forget the big picture.
Don't interrupt him. Don't be so polite.
No, I'm going to back him.
School.
I'm going to back him. There's a game on Thursday night this week, right?
Yeah.
Dolphins, Ravens. Somebody loses. Someone's going to be available. Can I just throw out Derrick Henry? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Could I ever throw that one
Mike
up?
McDaniel's going to be available. That's his guy. Somebody's going to be available. Mike McDaniel.
Hey, listen, Jalen Phillips, pass rusher. Derrick Henry
is not getting
I'm
traded.
just throwing out names right now.
We have a side bet on Mike McDaniel's being available has me crying real tears.
He'd be vaping on the sideline.
No way. He's going to be up in the press box with the other nerds, the stat guys, just like the rest of us. There's no way Derrick Henry.
Hey, you want a splash?
Yeah,
I gave you the splash, all right?
Can we be mildly realistic?
Hey, I want me to go back to Samadre P. Ryan and that level? You want me to go there?
At least it's
You said it was
realistic.
getting worse. I tried to top you, bro.
Great. Give me Derrick Henry. Give me,
Alvin Kamara wasn't enough for you?
I'll go with Alvin Kamara, but here's the thing. Alvin Kamara might actually be available.
Kyle, I need
Alvin
some
Kamara
tissues,
could be
man.
on the move because the Saints suck. The Ravens are still going to make a run. I bet you right now the Ravens win that division.
I miss you.
I think the Ravens are going to win that division.
Listen, bro, no matter what else we say in the show.
They got a win with Snoop Huntley.
No matter what we say in the show, you won it with Mike McDaniel's going to be available at the trade deadline. Go get him.
This is like, it doesn't need to be a household name, but yes, I would like them to acquire some money. Absolutely. They got plenty of it.
I give you the cannonball. Give me Derrick Henry.
Bring in some talent.
I need more makeup.
The Super Bowl is coming. Can we go? Is Nesson sending us to San Francisco in February?
Yeah.
To chase the MVP.
Hey, Mike McDaniel might be with us on set.
Sure to bring your khakis.
More on the way. Hey, you know, the Bruins won last night. We're going to talk about it. Boston has entered the
Oh, my
chat.
God. I can't recover. I'm sorry. I can't. That was...
All right, well, unfortunately, the Bruins lost 7-2 in Ottawa back on Monday. I know, not great, but I bring that up because you got to appreciate the bounce back. The Bees, they fall behind at home at the Garden against the Islanders, the second leg of the back-to-back. 2-0, allow a goal on the first shot they face. This is a surging Isles team that comes in, points in 5 straight, 4-0-1. Again, you're down 2-0 5 minutes in. It's like, well, great.
Yeah.
It's over.
No, Here we go again.
Nope.
Yep.
They find a way. You know what? The real credit here probably goes to Nesson's Unobstructed Views broadcast, because I don't know what you think of the Bruins season so far, boys, but I can tell you this. They're 1-0 when Unobstructed Views is on.
That's a fact.
5-2 comeback win against the Isles, Travis. It was an impressive showing by the Bees over the final 2 periods. Once again, grit, fight.
That's exactly right. This team reminds me of the Red Sox. Here's how. We remember early in the season with the Red Sox, 1-run losses, Heartbreak City, fundamentals, things going wrong. What's wrong with this team? This is going to be a long season. This team stinks. What happened? They figured it out. It's a long season. It being a long season played to their advantage because they figured it out. They got right. Some kid named Roman Anthony came up, and the rest is history, right? Okay. Look at the Bruins. Out of the gate, kind of similar things here. Some lapses on defense. What's up with Swayman? What's going on here? What's going on there? Sturm trying to figure it all out, tinkering with lines and different things of this nature. You have the worst loss of the season the other night, to your point.
Yeah.
You're down on the mat in this fight, and then you get up and you battle back and you win it. Just like the Red Sox team showed you they had fight, this Bruins team is showing us all we have the same kind of fight. It is a long season. Let's just give them a chance.
What do you say in these playoffs? Here we come.
I'll say this: the 5-7 record looks a lot better than the way that they've played. And to be honest with you, it's been bad. They're trying a new defensive philosophy. It's somewhat of a hybrid defensive philosophy. They used to play zone. It was bad the other night. And there are 3 people I look at. Number 1 is Charlie McAvoy. He bounced back last night.
He did.
He had 2 assists. He was everywhere.
Yep.
But he's the most important piece to that defense. He also makes the most money. And he's going to be the most criticized when it doesn't work out. There are a couple other guys in there. David Pastrnak, I don't think, bought in against Ottawa the other night. Last night, 2 points, a big part of the reason why they won the game. So the other one's Jeremy Swayman. We'll push him aside for a second.
He wasn't in net last night.
How about Korpisalo, though?
Last night.
Korpisalo was good.
He was.
He was good last night.
He hasn't been often.
I almost wonder if they play better in front of him. I'm not going to make this a Swayman versus Korpisalo thing, but you got to buy in. And it has to be those Swayman and those guys. They have to buy in right now. And this is what Marco Sturm has done this 3 times this year. Hey, guys aren't buying in. So I don't know, at some point, do they scrap it?
Sure.
Because it didn't, even though they scored 5 goals, the defense wasn't great. I'm just going to call it what it is. But just remember, teams around the league are doing this new hybrid system. The Florida Panthers are one of them. Montreal tried this last year. They scrapped it after 3 weeks. They went on to the playoffs. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of transition going on, a lot of new players, new coach, new scheme. Give it time. But I'm telling you, that loss the other night, that was scary. It was reminiscent of last year.
Okay, Joe, you're talking schematics, and I respect that. I'm talking grit, fight. We're not going to lay down. We're not going to. That's what I see from this team.
They've had that all year.
And that's my point. Yeah. I think schematically, things at times in sports can work out. It's harder in the NFL because it's a shorter sample size. But in these sports, NBA, NHL, MLB, you have time. So they could scrap it. I don't think they will. But I'm just saying schematically, to your point, you can tinker. You can figure that out. What you can't coach, what you can't teach, it's got to be in your DNA or not, is that dog. Do you fight or not? Adam, this team fights.
Let's hear from the coach. Let's find out what Marco Sturm thinks of all this fight, this grit, this tenacity, this defensive absence at points from this club here after a win.
No, I was just looking forward to today because I knew these guys going to respond. I knew it. I think we were all disappointed last night. Not just me, my players too. And I knew I could tell already before the game. We had a bunch of meetings, and I could tell these guys were ready to go. Yeah, no, and we're still learning. We're still learning in that. I think everyone in the league is still learning with that. You know, I like you said, I see some other teams who get beat really bad. I'm like, okay, thank God we're not the only ones. It's just, you know, with the schedule right now, like, look at us. We played here, came here, and then day off tomorrow, and then play again. So those kind of games will happen. And, yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, I think that the teams who stay healthy, first of all, the teams who can manage those kind of up and downs the best will have, I'm not saying better, will not have a better result, but they will have definitely an advantage. And we're still learning too.
All right, well, Marco Sturm, obviously his team is heading in the right direction, continues the homestand. We got a game coming up tomorrow against the Sabres, 3-game homie, right? The
homie.
Homestand.
Hey, another get right.
Look, if it's a roadie, it's a homie.
That's another get right game,
the thing that we don't really have time to get into it because we're going to get to Lou Merloni in a minute. But the thing that at least is worth bringing up, special teams, exceptional in this one. 2 for 4 on the power play, 5 for 5 on the penalty kill. That's exactly part of the recipe anyway for this team to have success.
Adam, Sabres up next. Another win, knock on wood. Got a little momentum.
Listen, at that point, you're flirting with 500, man. The Red Sox, not a 500 team. They're a playoff team, and they're a team that has their expectations, their sights, at least based on the fans, right, set a whole lot higher than just making the playoffs. We want to talk about the World Series like we're going to, just doesn't involve Boston quite yet. The Dodgers, suddenly a best of 3 with the Blue Jays. Lou Merloni is going to join us on the other side. Back with you here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. We have got our pal Lou Merloni, joins us every Wednesday on the program here on NESN. Lou, I just want to know how happy you are to be talking to us today as opposed to yesterday, because I'm just assuming that you were up for all 18 of those innings that the Dodgers and Blue Jays played. You wouldn't have wanted to get up this early after staying up till 3 a.m.
You know, the only 18-inning game I made was the one I called back in 18 when I was on the call and I was forced to do the entire 18 innings. No, I can't tell you how that game ended, but I did see it the next morning. It's just, I tried. I just couldn't do it.
It was a wild time for sure. We're going to talk plenty about the Red Sox and offseason chatter and rumblings and rumor mill and all that stuff. But let's just keep going with the World Series for a second, because when we talked to you last week, we're all in alignment. It's like it's a foregone conclusion. The Dodgers are going to roll. There's no chance this series gets to 7 games, may not get to 6 games, and yet here we are sitting at a best of 3. How surprised are you?
Yeah, I am. I'm surprised. I give the Blue Jays a ton of credit. You know, it's like they walked in with, Bo Bichette not playing for a month, and now it looks like they've lost Springer, and they still kind of go out. And to me, it's like watching them, and I'm sure a lot of organizations are watching them, and it's sort of like, hey, we got boppers at the top of the order, but how do we get more contact on the bottom of the order? And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing Jimenez, just with 2 strikes battling, getting a hit and driving in 2, making contact, something the Red Sox need to do a ton more of, especially in the bottom half. Your good hitters are on top, but you need to have at-bats at the bottom of the order. Guys like Scherzer throwing the ball well, Bieber, throwing the ball well. It's been impressive with how the Blue Jays have been going about it.
All right, Lou, let's talk turkey, because every time you and I talk, I tell you the same thing. I need a big, burly man with a bat in this Red Sox lineup stat at first base. Pete Alonso, Kyle Schwarber, talk to me. How do I get Schwarber? I'm seeing a lot of reports that, hey, there's interest there. He loved his time in Boston. Boston's interested. I'm not seeing a lot of Pete Alonso chatter, which is okay. So let's lock in on Schwarbs. How do we make this happen, Lou? How does this happen?
Listen, I'd love to have Kyle Schwarber here. First off, not at first base. I don't need him tipping his cap again when he makes a simple play at first. But, the designated hitter, the power that he has, I just don't think Dave Dombrowski is going to let him go. That's not his MO. He likes stars. It's a perfect fit with Schwarber in Philadelphia. It's not a long-term deal. It's probably a 3-4 year deal, whatever it may be. We'll see. Maybe it gets to 5. I don't know. But I don't see him leaving Philly. If he does, then I could see him landing here. You're right, because I do think this would be option 2 for Kyle Schwarber. But I just don't see that happening, when it comes to Schwarber. Alonso's a different story. I don't pay attention to chatter. Like I just don't. Like, there's reports out there, there's agents manipulating and influencing the media, talking about this team, that team. And sometimes the last couple of years I've heard too much about the Red Sox aren't interested at all in this guy, from people that actually are making decisions, only to read the following day that it's number one priority in their list. And I'm like, it's just not true. So it's, I try to stay away from reports, but you've got the two. I mean, Schwarber, obviously, and Alonso. He's the other guy. He's number one in my book.
Okay, Lou, let's stay with the Phillies for a second. I mean, there's a lot of drama brewing with this Bryce Harper thing. A lot of comments being made back and forth. If I'm Bryce, I'm like, okay, maybe I should be out of here. Do you think Bryce Harper could be in the mix? Can Bryce Harper enter the chat for the Red Sox, Lou?
It's funny because when you look at Harper, and it's hard to sit there and predict the future. I know everybody's like, I would do that in a heartbeat, right? Whatever it takes to get him. But just overall, the thought process of signing a guy for, say, 13 years, and then in year 6, I could potentially move him for what will eventually be the worst part of this contract.
Right.
That should get you to the Hall of Fame. And do you want to be the team that gets that guy, that star, because it's only 6 years in, and take the second half of a long-term contract that is not going to work out well? So as much as I'd look at Bryce Harper and say, I'd love to have him this year, I'd love to have him next year, I'd love to have him 2 years, 3 years, but I think it's still 7 or 8 left. And I don't think I want any part of that. As much as I like Bryce Harper, think about it. Do you want Mookie now? Do you want Mookie Betts now for the rest of that contract? I don't.
Yes, I do.
I watch him now. I think he's a slap hitter, good defender. You know what I mean? I don't want a bad contract the second half of it as much as I would love Bryce for the next 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Hey, Lou, a little something about playing defense. That seems to be the focus this offseason. Well, listen, it hasn't been for the Red Sox, so they're adding to it this year. What does it mean for Jarren Duran, right? The other outfielders are Gold Glove candidates, but does this philosophy impact Duran's future? And I guess what could they get back in return, and who could be the future left fielder for the Red Sox?
Yeah, I think Duran is an interesting one. He's just almost like polarizing, right? As far as people in Boston, because when you watch him play, it's like when he's going offensively, he gets everything going. Like, he's the spark plug of this team. Defensively, it wasn't pretty out in left field. There's no question about it. Last year, he was a Gold Glove finalist. He was better in center field. To me, it's about who you're trading for, right? Like, everybody keeps talking about the Twins. The Twins want absolutely nothing to do with Jarren Duran. Why would the Twins want 2 or 3 more years of Jarren Duran while they're in a complete rebuild? Now, the Cincinnati Reds would want him. The San Diego Padres would want him. I don't think the Marlins would want him. So it's like, if they're going to move Jarren Duran, he needs to go to a team that's looking for that bat that has so much pitching that they're willing to give it up because they're trying to still win, not rebuild. So then it turns into, maybe you're dealing with the Twins and maybe you're dealing with the Marlins and they want an outfielder, a big league young outfielder, and maybe they're more interested in Abreu, even though you got to give up some defense. So it's that whole outfield dynamic is going to be interesting. It depends who the trade partner is. Duran is a talent. Like, this year was a down year. The year before, do you have, other than Roman Anthony, can either one of those other two guys do what Jarren Duran did in 2024? And I'm not sure they can. So the whole thing is just interesting to see how this thing plays out. I think it's going to depend who the trade partner is.
But obviously, the other two guys, Abreu and Rafaela, I mean, they're the superior defenders. They may not have the offensive ceiling necessarily that Duran has, to your point, top 10 MVP vote the year before, an all-star, all of that. But doesn't he kind of feel like, for one reason or another, the odd man out? Like, if somebody is going to move among those 4 guys, and I'll include Anthony, obviously, Duran's the one that's exiting. Is that, I don't know, because of fit? Is it because of inconsistency? Is it because of, maximize your return, Anthony aside? I mean, what's it come down to?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you hit on all of it. I think he and Abreu are still in the mix as far as guys that could be moved. But yeah, I mean, the defense of Abreu, the defense of Rafael, you can withstand some hot and cold stretches because of what they do defensively. It's just that, the one interesting thing, actually, about a month ago, whenever it was, when the Red Sox announced their coaching staffs, who's coming back, who's not coming back. The only person that didn't come back is Ben Rosenthal. And Ben is Jarren Duran's, not personal hitting coach, but they live out in California together. They hit all winter together. And of the 3 big league hitting coaches, Rosie is like the one guy that kind of watches Durant, works with Durant. Like it's Durant's trust guy, right? And he's the only guy that was let go. So to me, that was kind of telling.
Lou, this is sort of a big picture question, but I'm just thinking of this offseason. Every team goes into the offseason saying, we got to have a good offseason here. I look at this Red Sox team this offseason. This has to be the most important offseason we've seen in many moons around here. Can you talk to me about the pressure that you think the front office could feel this offseason to make splashes? Now, granted, last offseason, they hit home runs quite literally. I mean, Crochet, you got 3 All-Stars last offseason. So I'm not saying they weren't great, but it was almost like, oh, wow, look at this. This worked out.
Well, they felt like the Red Sox again.
Yes. Yeah. Now it's that pressure, and that's a great point. Now we're back to, okay, it's an arms race, right, Lou? Can you talk about the pressure of this offseason specifically for this franchise now?
Yeah, and to be honest with you, hopefully next offseason will be even more important, right? And then next offseason, like this is where you want to go. Remember, okay, the biggest disappointment to me was 2021. Like you moved everybody in 2020, and all of a sudden you had this little surprise year that got you to the Final Four, right? Got you to an ALCS, and you said, okay, build on that momentum. And the last 2 years after following 22, 23, they did nothing. And it was like, well, what happened? Well, the organization is not ready depth-wise. Oh, okay, well, it is now. So, yes, you're all right. You got to get, okay, you lost Bregman, you lost Giolito, as of probably right now. Okay, so if you got to bring back Bregman, and you got to bring back a guy with a 3.4 ERA to get even, then you got to go. Then you got to go. And then the trade deadline will be the most important trade deadline in the next 5 years. Like, it's time. Your organization is healthy. You have a ton of pitching. You have young players in the big leagues. Like, it's time to go and find your Chris Sale to go with David Price. Like, it's like they did back in 16, 17. Like, this is where we're at right now. So go get a number 2 for Crochet. It's time to bring back a Bregman who's been in the postseason and go get an Alonso. It's time to start taking steps to kind of sit there and seriously be World Series contenders.
Yo, Joe, man. Every time Lou talks, I catch the baseball Holy Ghost. I swear to God, every single time he's on this show or in person, me and Lou talk all the time, or I see him at the radio station. Every time he talks, I catch the baseball Holy Ghost.
Just, Lou, I'll say this. Watching the World Series, though, I know you just mentioned they have to get that second pitcher. Doesn't it hitting, though? Like, in the end, right?
Yeah.
Is hitting going to help the Blue Jays win the World Series? And if the Dodgers come back, isn't it going to be their hitting?
That's a good point.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it's like you can go get, like for me, it's like the pitching staff. Like I'd go, you go get a guy like Joe Ryan, and let's say you bring back Giolito, or you go get a guy like Bieber. It's like our rotation is awesome. That's great. But as you pointed out, like you just sit around, next thing you know, here comes a 3-run homer, or your bottom of the order's making contact. That's how you're winning ball games. So this is why you say you bring back a guy like Bregman. Hopefully he can stay healthy and build off last year. Roman Anthony, I think, is an absolute star, but you need another dude. You can't just bring those 2 back and say, okay, everyone else is going to improve, and I'm glad that Breslow said he can't just sit back and hope everybody improves. I think Theo Epstein was the first one to say it back in like the mid-2000s. One of the mistakes I made as a young GM was just expecting everyone to come back and be better. That you can't do that. You can't expect, Rafaela to be a 280 hitter or Abreu to strike out less and pop 35. Like you can't expect Casas to come back and be healthy. Like you got to go out and build a baseball team. You got to go out and add some thump to this lineup and then continue to work on those guys and try to get them to be better hitters. So, yeah, offensively, I'm with you. Like, there's a lot to do here if you're the Boston Red Sox, as good as you feel about where this thing is headed.
So, look, fans, us, you, we've all got opinions. You gave us an impassioned speech on what the Red Sox need to do. But like you, and you said this before, I don't really care about chatter either. I don't care about the rumor mill and the hot stove and all that stuff. I do care about people who know things, and you are certainly a hell of a lot more connected than we are to people in baseball ops and that front office and scouts and all, just people within the organization from your time with them, around them, on the call, all of it. Give us something. Take us behind the scenes. What are you hearing in terms of priority internally?
Well, I do think it's that number 2 starter. I know they love Joe Ryan. And they absolutely love the metrics, everything behind them. There's numbers under the hood. Like there's certain numbers, and all these guys fit it last year. Crochet, Chapman, Justin Wilson. It's called swinging strike percentage. It's kind of nerdy, but basically it's just how many swings and misses do I get in the strike zone? Not out of the zone. I'm throwing strikes. How many swings and misses? Those 3 guys they picked up have been elite. A guy like Joe Ryan is in that category. Dylan Cease is in that category. So I think it's a number 2. They feel like they got enough depth behind it, but they know they need to hit homers. They absolutely know they have to hit home runs. So what they do as far as that, I don't know if Alonso is real. It 100% should be. I know they want to move this thing forward and actually start contending and get to a postseason and actually have a home game at Fenway in the playoffs. Because as much as you made the playoffs this year, it didn't feel like it because you never came back to Fenway Park. You got to get a home game. So this was just a first step in hopefully what is improvement for the next 4 or 5 years.
Lou, you preaching again, man. Look, I've been here 3 years. This was the first time since I've been in town, Lou, that the Sox made the playoffs, and I couldn't even experience it at Fenway. So yet again.
You were there the night they clinched, though.
I was there the night they clinched, which felt great. It felt great, but it wasn't a playoff game. Wasn't a playoff.
It's your fault. It's on you. You better hurry up and turn it around. Do something different.
I'm trying, Lou. All right, look, I hate to do this, man, but damn it, we were both wrong. We both said Dodgers in 3. Yeah. We look up, and here are the Blue Jays. Vlad Jr.
You got 3 chances to be right.
I mean, listen, Vlad Jr., this dude is a dog to the next level. He's got rabies. He's got so much dog in him. So now I'm not going to panic here, Lou. I'm going to go Dodgers in 6. I'm sticking to it. We were wrong about the sweep, but here we are. I'm still rolling with the Dodgers in 6. Where are you now? Updated prediction.
I'm actually going to go 7 with it, though. Like, I'm watching this Toronto team, and it's like there's just something there. I respect them. I respect that coaching staff. These guys grind it out, and it's, like I said, Ernie Clement, Lucas, like these guys that are just getting it done. Jimenez, like they're making contact. I'd give them one more game. I still think it's the Dodgers. I still think it's the Dodgers. It's just they're just that good.
Yep.
But I love the fact that Toronto's taking them to the tilt.
Lou, we got to let you go, but 30 seconds real quick. Aroldis Chapman made headlines. You guys talked about it yesterday, saying, he was asked about would he ever return to the Yankees. He basically said, over my dead body.
Literally.
I would retire on the spot.
Yep.
My question for you is there ever a team that you felt that way about?
Ooh.
Well, look, it's funny. In 2003, I was with San Diego, and I got traded back to Boston. And Kevin Towers called me, and he said, I'm trading you back. You're going to Fenway Park this weekend. I'm like, wow, back to Boston. He's like, not sure. I'm like, what do you mean? And he said, well, they're playing the Yankees, and Cashman's trying to get you, too. They need a utility player. And I was like, KT, you cannot send me back to Fenway Park as a member of the New York Yankees. Like, you cannot do that to me. I can't do that. And he just started laughing, and he's just like, no, I'm going to end up sending you to Boston. But I'm just trying to get a better prospect. I don't think the prospect ever got an A-ball, but that's okay. But, yeah, it would have been weird playing for the Yankees. But here's the thing. When I was playing, I would have taken a job. When you're like 38 right. When you're 38 years old and you've already played in the league for 46 years and you're Chapman, you can decide where you want to retire or not, right?
That's right.
That's right. Lou Merloni, good friend of the program here. Of course, you can catch him all the time on Nesson and every Wednesday here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Lou, thank you so much.
All right, good seeing you guys. Enjoy.
All right, you as well. We're going to come on back. We have much more on the way. How about a little Celtics talk? The 1-3 C's taking on the 3-1 Cavs and Jayson Tatum. Happy 6-month anniversary to you. We'll explore on the other side. Well, happy anniversary, Jayson Tatum. 6 months removed from rupturing that Achilles. I'm surprised this one did not come along with a video of a tomahawk dunk or something like that. When he hit the 5 months, we got a video of him dunking off 2 feet. Riley, Celtics Riley on Twitter. People are finally understanding how valuable Jayson Tatum is, but at what cost? Welcome back in. Boston has entered the chat. The Celtics, they're off to a 1-3 start. Hasn't been pretty. A lot of that you can point to Jayson Tatum, whether it's the absence offensively. He really, the offense, it runs through him. There have been some growing pains without him for a range of reasons I'm sure we'll explore, but also defensively and rebounding. I mean, he is one of your top rebounders that you have lost, in addition to obviously moving on from Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis and Luke Cornett and on and on. But this team has sorely missed Jayson Tatum. Where I'll push back, I guess, just a little bit on that tweet, and maybe this is me, Joe, as a basketball snob, because I've been dialed in on Celtics content for, since long before Tatum was ever in Boston, was a pipe dream for Boston. It's like I mean, I knew. Like, I was paying attention. It's like people should not be. This should not be a revelation that Jayson Tatum's absence has sorely impacted this team.
Yeah, I thought the tweet was 6 months since, they've won a game without him. I thought that's what it was all about.
I mean, it's also true.
And they did win the playoff game after he got hurt, but whatever. Listen, Jayson Tatum is the Celtics' best front court player. He's their best player overall. He's their best rebounder. He's their best scorer. He's their best passer. He's their best defender. Like, I can go on and on and on of how important Jayson Tatum is, but they didn't address the front court. They didn't. They tried to. We'll see what Neemias Queta can do, right? Luka Garza, six rebounds the other night. All I'm saying is,
Chris Boucher?
He's great. Let me tell you. The fact is this: I think that when they tore down the team, they knew they weren't competitors because Jayson Tatum wasn't there. Sure. And so, I'll watch the games and I'll think they'll be in it every night, but I'll know that every night they can't rebound, pass the ball, assist, you name it, because Jayson Tatum's not there. And it's unfortunate. Like, you would think they still have talent. They should. Jaylen Brown, 41. You lose, right?
So
it was a nice win against New Orleans the other night because they let in rebounds. They let in assists. But I just
Zion didn't play.
Yeah, but I just think
Skinny Zion.
Skinny Zion, that's right. It always goes back to Missoula, right? It always goes back to his philosophy. It might work with Jayson Tatum. That probably doesn't work with the group they have now.
Amen. Which is exactly why I say, sit him. Let's stop playing this game. Oh, he's running in a pool. Oh, we just saw a video of him dunking. I don't give a damn. Shut him down for the rest of this year because look at the Eastern Conference right now. Now, I get it. Before you say, Trav, it's too early. There's so much season left. Stay with me. All the teams right now ahead of the Celtics. Celtics are the bottom of the barrel right now in the Eastern Conference with terrible teams. We know they're not that bad, okay?
I mean, they're 1-3 along with your Orlando Magic.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm going to put some respect on their name that we know they're not going to be that bad. And we know the Magic aren't going to be at the bottom. But I have the Magic included in this. Ahead of them for now, Sixers, Cavs, Bucks, none of these teams are going anywhere. Knicks, Pistons, they're all going to be there. Magic are going to get right. Hawks are going to get right.
Sure.
How many teams
But some of those teams that you mentioned are going to fall off.
No, they're not.
Yes, they
are. All those teams I just said are the best teams in the East, regardless. I'm not talking seeds. I'm not talking seeds.
You don't think the Bulls are going to fall off?
Yes, I do.
You don't think the Heat are going to fall off?
Yes, I do. I didn't name them, Adam. Listen to what I'm saying.
But what
I'm going to go through this again.
No, but what I'm
going to go through this again, Adam.
Yeah, but there are 8 playoff spots.
Just listen. Hear me out.
Please.
76ers, Cavs, Bucks, Knicks, Pistons, Hawks are going to get right. Okay. How many teams is that? 8? What did I name? I didn't say any of those other teams. My point is, regardless of seeding, we know those teams will be in the East because they were last year. They're going to be again this year. My point, if you're playing for a play-in or you're fighting for an 8 seed, what's the point? Sit him. Let him rest. When he comes back, he's fully healthy. You have a draft pick. You have Jaylen Brown. You have Derek White. You can figure out the front court. Tatum should help with that. And then you're cooking with gas.
So you're going to force his hand?
Force whose hand?
Tatum's. What if he wants to play?
You sign his checks, right?
Sure.
He works for you, right?
Technically.
Hey, Jace, we love you. We want you to play too. We're in the lottery. Relax. See you next year.
You got tankathon.com?
Yeah, chill out. We'll see you next year.
Then why didn't they shut him down in the same way the Pacers shut down Halliburton or the Blazers shut down Lillard?
Because I don't think
because he just wants to chase the carrot?
No, because they don't agree with me. They think we're going to be a 4-5. We're going to be in the thick of this. We're going to get our guy back and go on a title run. We're watching the games. No, they're not.
That's exactly why they want to give you hope that it can stay in it and maybe Tatum can come back.
That's right.
They should not bring Jayson Tatum back. I'm sorry. The most important thing for the Celtics this year is Jayson Tatum getting healthy to be ready for next year.
That's right.
So again, all those moves, I'll say it one more time, all the moves they made were to get worse. Potentially back into the lottery. Look at do I have to bring up the names?
No.
Do I have to bring up the names?
Do it.
Look at the college names. AJ DeBonta, Madam,
it's
great
a stacked class.
He's there.
It's a stat class, but they didn't make those moves to get worse, quote unquote.
Oh.
They made those moves to get under the second apron.
And they got worse.
Right, but they weren't motivated to get worse to get in the lottery. It was about the money.
Peyton Pritchard,
And also, I would argue getting rid of Drew Holiday in exchange for Anthony Simons was a plus move.
Yes, but they're going to dump
a good move.
They're going to dump his
personnel-wise.
money. And Peyton Pritchard's not a starter. All right, he's not a starter.
He's not.
He's not.
He's a sixth man of the year.
And Derek White somewhat's getting exposed because he has to do more, right? And Jaylen Brown, again, will put up 40,
He's not consistent.
but he'll lose.
He's not consistent.
And their philosophy is to shoot when they don't have necessarily a shooting team. Now, Hauser's been pretty good of late. Did you know that?
Joe, keep going.
Wait, real quick, did you know
Protection.
Derek White has the same amount of 3-point attempts as Steph Curry? That is deplorable. I am sorry.
Keep going. Keep going. Rim protection, rebounding.
Yes.
You could have kept going.
No, but listen, and he's averaging 11 attempts per game. I don't want to see that.
Come on now.
I understand.
That's tank right there, man.
No, it's not tank. He's a good shooter in a age NBA. Here's the issue.
They should tank.
Here's the issue is that Derek White is shooting 25% per game on those 3-point tries, or that Simons is still at about 36.5, 37. He's got to be better.
And he's going to get traded.
Pritchard is at 21 and obviously is going to be better. I think the bigger thing here is because I had this exact conversation a couple of days ago with Cedric Maxwell, who I'm pretty sure knows a thing or two about playing in the NBA. And I said this, because I've been preaching for months dating back to these moves. You got to do something different if you're Joe Mazzulla. Stylistically, it can't still be that killer whale offense. It can't still be the 3-point vault. You can't be jacking up 53-point tries in a game when this is your personnel and you have lost all those guys, Horford, Holiday to a degree, Porzingis, obviously Tatum, all these guys who are capable of making 3-pointers at a very high rate. You got to do something different. And Max says, well, fine, except what are you going to do different when you don't have a front court? If you're stuck on the perimeter shooting threes, it's not like if they can be better somehow in transition and run and gun and pick up the pace and all this stuff that they've talked about, then fine, great. But if that doesn't work, what are you going to do? Feed it down low to Nimi?
Right.
You don't have an option. You have to jack it from 3.
Right. So speaking of that, they play the Cavs tonight, and Evan Mobley, 8 rebounds, 11 in his last game.
Jared Allen?
All right, that's another guy. So tonight, they give up so many offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
It's a bad matchup.
Yeah, Kyle, do me a favor. Write this down in my list of things to do. Bet every over for every big man for the Cavs, over for everything.
Guys, there are a lot
because no one's stopping anything.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of bad matchups coming up. I mean, again, it's Allen and Mobley for Cleveland. It's Joel Embiid, assuming he plays, and Drummond, let's say, with Philadelphia in
Houston.
this Cup game.
I'm telling you.
You got Houston, who's maybe the biggest lineup in NBA history.
Just remember.
Then you have Utah, Walker Kessler, and these guys out there.
Make sure you pull up tankathon.com while you're looking at that, bro.
Scroll along.
They have the 3rd best odds.
AJ DeBonsis is from Brockton. He would look great in a Celtics.
Hey, if Dallas can get the #1 pick and Tatum gets hurt, why not the Celtics next year?
Amen.
Let me tell you this with your 3rd best odds. I just did one sim of the lottery. You know which pick the Celtics wind up with, sitting at 1 and 3
I'll take whoever
with
it
your
is.
3rd best odds?
I'll take whoever.
Number 11. Number 11.
Lord.
And this is the whole thing, guys. This is not the NFL where, the Patriots screwed up getting the #1 overall pick in the NBA. It's a lottery system.
Do another
Cooper
reset.
Flag wound up with Dallas. It doesn't always work out. Tim Duncan didn't walk through that door. We're going to go over to Nessa Nation. Keep on going. Another hour on the way, 9 to 10. Don't miss out.